Please help me reach 2,000 subscribers. I never thought I'd become the kind of man who shares a story like this. I always saw myself as stable, dependable, the quiet one who kept his feet on the ground. I wasn't the guy who chased chaos or craved the spotlight. All I ever wanted was loyalty, consistency, and a love that felt steady. Her name was Marina. She had a presence that didn't make sense. Radiant, effortless, the kind of beauty that made people turn their heads before they even realized why. Anytime she entered a room, conversation paused for a moment, like the air shifted toward her. She carried herself with such confidence that people naturally drifted in her direction, especially men. We first crossed paths at a cookout for a mutual friend. She was sitting in the yard barefoot, drinking sangria and laughing like nothing in life had ever weighed her down. We talked until the sky went dark, and by the time we said goodnight, I already knew I was falling fast. 6 months later we shared an apartment. A year after that she became my wife. In the beginning she made me feel chosen. She'd grab my hand in public, lean into me with a grin like we were in on some secret, whisper things that made my heart race. I thought her wildness was charm, an unpredictable spark that would make life full of color. And it did, just not in the way I imagined. Looking back now, the warning signs were there from the start. Her phone always lay face down. She'd vanish for hours without explanation, then waltz back in as if she'd only stepped out for a moment. When I asked basic questions, she'd get defensive, twist my words, act like I was accusing her of something terrible. I gave her space. More space than I should have. Then came the night everything changed. It was a regular Wednesday. She walked in late, hair freshly styled, perfume sharp in the air, eyes unfocused like she'd had more to drink than she wanted to admit. I was sitting in the kitchen waiting. No yelling. No fight in my voice. I simply asked, "Where were you?" She scoffed, irritated. "Why are you acting like this?" she snapped. "You're not in charge of me." "I never said I was," I told her. "But I am your husband." 6 hours with no message. Asking isn't unreasonable. She rolled her eyes and muttered, "You're so insecure." I was with friends. "Do I need your permission now?" "You don't need permission," I said quietly. "Just honesty." That's when she laughed, cold, careless, and said the sentence that split everything open. "I sleep with whoever I want. What are you going to do about it?" "Leave." She waited for me to explode. Maybe she wanted shouting, broken glasses, something dramatic. But I didn't give her the performance she expected. I just looked at her. Really looked, and for the first time I saw a stranger standing where my wife should have been. I didn't argue. I didn't raise my voice. I stood up, walked to the spare room, closed the door and locked it. She knocked once, then laughed softly. "Go ahead. Be dramatic." I said nothing. Before sunrise, I packed a suitcase and drove straight to my cousin's house. No note, no text. I simply removed myself. 2 weeks later, she was served the divorce papers. I had already consulted a lawyer and made sure everything was handled cleanly. She called once, I ignored it. Then came the messages. First angry, then confused, and finally desperate. "You misunderstood. I was drunk. I didn't mean it. Please talk to me. Don't throw us away." But mentally, I had already left the night she spat those words at me with pride. You can't rebuild something someone shatters on purpose. She thought I'd never walk away, that she could break me and I'd still stay. She was wrong. I didn't scream. I didn't try to get even. I didn't cause a scene. I simply chose myself for the first time in years. My quiet became my boundary. For months, I lived in a cabin near the woods, working remotely and piecing myself back together. The nights were heavy at first, but eventually the silence stopped feeling lonely. It started feeling like peace. I remembered what it felt like to have self-respect. People sometimes ask whether I regret not fighting for my marriage. I tell them love isn't supposed to be a battlefield where one person keeps testing how much pain the other can swallow. Love should be a place of safety. When she mocked me, flaunted her betrayal, and dared me to walk away, I finally understood something I'd ignored for far too long. She mistook my calmness for weakness. But that calmness is what allowed me to leave with my dignity intact. In the end, my silence said everything she never expected to hear. Please help me reach 2,000 subscribers.